Hey everybody, welcome to Saving Greens Homestead. My name is Keisha, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I welcome you. I decided to bring you guys along just to show you some of the progress that I'm making back here in my garden, just preparing for next season, and also just so that my garden will be a lot more neater, cleaner, prettier, hopefully. I wasn't able to get out here the last few days because we had Santa Ana winds, which are high winds blowing through here. And as most of you know that have been watching my videos for a long time or live in my local area, you know it's always windy up here. It's always. But these winds are special because they have gusts that reach higher speeds than normal. So all my leaves got blown off, and on my trees too. From my last video that I posted about a week ago, I was showing you all the pretty leaves, colors of the leaves and stuff on all my trees, and now they're basically stripped bare because of the winds, and you can see it all down here on the ground. There's just leaves everywhere. Stuff was blown around everywhere. So I'm out here just trying to get all this cleaned up. And then also I had to trim back some of these bushes because I've been working on fortifying this space here for my chickens so that they can start roaming on this end of their run again. And so far I've had them blocked out for a while, and so I'm just getting it back put together for them. And it's something because I was standing out here and I had a chicken escape right in front of my eyes. She just flew up to the top of the bird netting. I have bird netting on top of the chicken wire, and she just flew up. It wasn't right here. They can't access this area. It was down where they are, but she just flew up like nothing. She was easy to catch because she's been handled all her life. Not by me, but the people that I got her from. And so she was easy to catch, and I just clipped her wings. But yeah. So anyways, I've almost got all of these beds cleared out. I was supposed to take out this basil right here, but we had a series of really cold nights in the 20s, and well, that wiped out the rest of my basil, because this one on the last video you saw was still really pretty and green, and yeah, well, the cold got to it. But I got all of this closed. Now I have to go around, and on parts of this fencing, I don't see it here, but I have some wire ties that I've tied to keep it closed so the birds can't like climb up in between the two. And so I'm just gonna go around and fortify it, but this is all closed off basically and ready for my birds. So hopefully today I will get to that before it gets dark. I have a good hour and a half before it gets dark to get most of this finished off. I have just this area right here that I have to close off and get everything pulled out of there so that they can have the freedom to go back and forth. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna, it's hard to see, but there's against that wall in the back there's a gap in between the trees, and believe me, they will go through that to get to the other side. I've had them escape many times. As you can hear, there's a major street that's behind this wall that my backyard butts up against, so they get out on that side over there. Hopefully I get it all done today, and then that way I can show you everything looking nicer and neater and cleaner, but I don't know. And then right here, all these leaves are over here from the trees. You can see I had to push those out of the way just to get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this cleared out and cleaned up too. So I'm gonna get started. I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of it on video. I might just, you know, show you how it is after the fact, because trying to make a video and working at the same time, it just uses up too much time. And I don't have a lot of time right now before it gets dark. So I will hopefully be able to show you what the after is. So let me get started. I have to pick the last of these peppers. I'm gonna be using them in some beans that I'm making for tonight. It does not even feel like December. It is way too hot still. We go through these cold nights, and then these warm days. Today was pretty warm. I put on a hoodie to go work at the community garden, and I was sweating like crazy. So let me cut these and get these harvested so I can get them added to for my beans. Look at that. Beautiful pepper. Some of these other ones on here are already dead because the weather got to them, but I mean, for the most part, these are good and usable. So I'm gonna get busy doing that, and I'll show you what I have, what I end up with. Look at what I found under here. Look at this. Those are all big, stuffing size. I like to stuff these. Look how big these are. I like to stuff these. When I'm trying to eat low carb, I stuff these with meat that I prepare, like for taquitos or for like enchiladas. I'll stuff them with the meat, and instead of using a tortilla, have a whole pepper like that with the sauce on it still and the cheese, and it still works out good. And it's flavorful and it tastes great. And I don't miss the tortilla as much. There's still plenty more of these peppers left on here, but they're all still pretty green. I'm just gonna leave them for right now. I keep watching the weather so that they don't get too, it doesn't get too cold and they freeze. But I wanted to go over and get some purple ones. Let me go grab those. So I got that big purple one. I think all of these are gonna add nice flavor to my pinto beans that I'm making. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this inside and get them cut up and added and finish getting dinner made. You ready, Sonny? Huh? You ready? You ready to go eat? Look how pretty these are. I cut up some of these leaves and added it to my breakfast this morning, and it was so good. They didn't come down, huh? gonna come. They're not used to coming down this way. And so, even though I removed the barrier, they're scared to come over onto the other part of this run. Okay, they passed the barrier now, but okay. Come on, I did all that work for you girls yesterday. They're right here behind the dogs thing. But they're not trying to go all the way down. I guess eventually they will. We got a lot of space to cover, to check out. I just knew I was going to get out here this morning and they were going to be all over this area, getting the berries on the end and everything. But nope. Okay. Crystal. Hey, Crystal. Come on, ladies. Come on, you got all this extra space now. And leaves to scratch under, search for bugs. I still gotta cover this in, this top part, close the bird netting up on there, because I didn't get to do that yesterday. Here's the other part, but as you can see, there's no bird netting right there in that gap, and they'll find it, and that'll be where they'll start escaping, trying to get to the garden. So I'm going to make sure I close that up. They're making their way past the dogs area. Slowly. But I got all this finished yesterday. To try and keep them contained in here. And they love those red berries. Once they come down to this other side, they'll see there's a whole bunch of red berries down there. Look at this guy. He's upset he can't get in there anymore. He used to go in there and take naps. I have a little portal that I cut out up here that I open up and put food out. I had one chicken that used to escape through this. So I have to make sure I put a tie here to keep it closed. I had one that would escape through that, and I had one that would just climb up. She'd just flap her wings and climb up to the top here and then fly over. And it didn't matter, even when I clipped her wings, she still did the same thing until she was too big, too heavy. Once she got heavy enough that she couldn't do that anymore, then I didn't have to worry about it. It's kind of hard to see, but I have this, it used to be a shelf for a greenhouse. I have another one down here at my feet under this rock here that the greenhouse had the plastic cover. Those aren't good for where I live because it's so windy. And so anyways, I started using just the pieces of it for different things. And well, I kept these shelves and I used them to cinch up this chicken wire here because it wouldn't quite stretch all the way together. And so I used zip ties to pull the chicken wire together, and then I cinched it with metal wire around the edges of these shelves, and cinched them to the chicken wire too, so when those zip ties get weathered and start breaking, it still won't go nowhere. It'll still stay closed because it's all cinched together. Sure, they are gonna be loving this, being able to come over here and get all these bugs and stuff that they hadn't been able to reach all this time. Back here, I don't know if you guys remember, I showed you a gap where I said they could easily get out. Well, I put some dead branches and filled in that gap there with those dead branches, zip tied them in place. So hopefully that'll be a deterrence. I don't know, we'll see. I'm hopeful though. It's funny because all of them are down here, just hanging out down here, down where the food is and the water. All these chickens, and they don't realize that they can spread out and go all the way down to the other end now. They're growing their feathers back. When I got them, they were all molting. But they're growing all their feathers back, which is good, because that means they'll start laying again. They're starting to look like a really decent brood of ladies here. They were all scraggly when I got them because they were molting their feathers. Look who decided to venture out onto this side of the run. You hear them, they're like little raptors. But they are comfortable now coming down on this side. They weren't at first. They weren't coming down here at all, even though they were able to. But now they are down here. So there's some things I still need to do, like finish clearing out these beds here. Look at these flowers. The stems are purple, the flowers are purple. It's so cute. I have some more boards I want to screw onto this board down here, so that way it just looks neater going across here. I gave them a whole bunch of pomegranates that I had left over. Look at who's sitting on the rock. Hey, you. He's got his little winter coat. He's so extra fluffy right now. He's so adorable. Who's cute? But yeah, he's funny because he likes to ambush the chickens and charge at them, and just to get them all riled up. I wanted to show you guys. So I got all this cleared out. If you remember, I had a stack of stuff that I pulled out of the beds, right, piled up right here. And then all this grass was just growing crazy. My husband went through with a weed whacker just to knock it back a little bit. We're not finished working with that, but for right now, it's just a clear spot so I can get through to do stuff. And then over here, he weed whacked a lot of the grasses and stuff that was right here down so I could get through, so I can maneuver around to get these beds cleared out. These nasturtiums are doing so good. Even though it's cold, maybe they're insulated because of the grass, but they're doing so well. Everything else pretty much has died off because at night we've had a couple of really, really cold nights, and so everything else just kind of gave up and died off. I mean, I still have some tomato plants that are healthy looking. You see those right back here? Those are still healthy, and look, it's growing up the trellis there. I think they're insulated because of all the stuff, but once I start digging all this stuff out, the cold to get to it. These flowers are still doing good, and there's still tomatoes in here that are looking good and growing good. I don't know what this variety is, but they're yellow. They're yellow. And, oh, you know what? This might be Napa Chardonnay. It might be. I'm going to clean this one off and eat this one for me. But like this tomato plant mostly has died. There's still some of it that is healthy right here that's hanging on. Oh, look, there is a hornworm. Another one. I don't know if he's alive. He's not moving. I'm surprised they're still out munching. This one, I just noticed it has some new tomatoes on it. But even though temperatures have been really low, these tomatoes are doing good. Look at this one. The tomatoes are still hanging in there. The plant has died off mostly. So once those tomatoes ripen, that's it for that one. But my lemon tree is popping back to life. It's got all this new growth on it, which is nice. I took some photos of Lola out here in the sun, laying in the leaves. You can see the impression where she was laying, and it's so cute. I'll put those on the screen so you can see them. And then I just took some other photos of the sun hitting that. I think that was just so adorable. I love fall. I love when the leaves turn colors and they drop. It makes a mess, yes, but those leaves are so good and has a lot of nutrients in them. I use them in my beds as a fertilizer to grow more stuff. So, but yeah, I wasn't supposed to be coming over here to show you guys leaves and tomatoes, but that just happened. I really just wanted to show you that I've been out here cleaning up stuff. I gotta get this thrown away. But all these leaves, this was covered with leaves, just like how it is over where we were just standing. And I got those all in this bag. Some of them I burned. But then I got this all cleared out of the leaves and organized a little bit better over here. I had to move this plant rack right here because Sunny keeps jumping at the birds. The birds keep landing on there for water, or they were landing in the branches of the apple tree over here. And he would launch himself. I was sitting here watching YouTube, and all of a sudden I see this orange blur flying in the air. And well, it was him launching himself. I'm sorry, I had to eat that tomato. I have been holding on to it. But he ended up cracking a tray and knocking plants over and killed a whole bunch of plants. So now I moved it over here in hopes that the birds will lay off of it. That means he will stay away from it and won't mess up any more of my plants. But as you can see, all of this is cleaned up. I still got a little pile that I started up again over here of the grasses and stuff. And as I clear out this part of the garden over here, that pile will add up, but I just burn it. Here's where I burn everything. And then after I burn it, I reuse it in the garden as I get my beds ready for the new growing season. I'll add some of those ashes into the soil. But yeah, I got the birds all squared away. I'm so happy that they have so much more space I'm happy that they are settling in and getting used to me, knowing that I'm the one that feeds them. And so they follow me back and forth throughout the day until I feed them. And then once I feed them, they're like, "What? I ain't got time for you, lady." We look over this way and how that's all cleaned. So there is a huge difference. It's just, you know, it's just taking some time because it's just me. But I was able to trim these bushes back. See, there's still trash in there. I got to get out. I got to get all that pulled out. And then I got to finish trimming back these bushes right here and decide whether I want them or not. They just started growing back after I had them removed. Anyways, I'm happy. I'm happy that I got a lot of stuff done and cleared. It might not look like it, but I'm making progress and I'm happy with it because I want everything to be cleared and to look the way that I want it to look, so that as I'm making videos and showing you my garden, it's actually a pretty garden, not just some chaotic mess. And every year during the summer, it explodes in growth like this. And by the time the end of summer is here or fall starts and everything is just lush and green and full and wild, and it's pretty, but it just looks like a huge mess to me. So I'll get it all back under control and ready for the next season. Well, at least that's my goal. Look at how pretty this tree is in my neighbor's yard. Look at that with the sun on it. That's so pretty. But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and keep the progress going and keep working at stuff so that this back here will look nice and functional and not so wild and not a hot mess. But I am gonna end this video here, and I will keep you guys up to date on what's going on. I guess the only thing left to say is I'll see you in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.